Hello, Amity City! How are we doing tonight? I know the last broadcast was a lot and left us with a lot of questions, but I might have some answers. Those answers, however, come with a long story that involves animatronic beavers. I'm not going to beat around the bush. Let's get into it. The demons, Whispers and Laughter, who I spoke to last time, mentioned Revered Ones. They described them as old, cruel, powerful, and capable of many things. They said they had their own rules and hungers. I started doing some research. I headed to Amity Central Library and started looking for the term Revered One, and really only found a bunch of disparate things. People using it to refer to aliens, that sort of stuff. On the internet, I found some memes about high-ranking religious officials. And then I found a strange one that piqued my interest in the newspaper section. A news report by Redonia 4 stated a woman was threatening employees of the D'Artagnan Pizza and Games restaurant and casino here in Amity City. She claimed to be an envoy of a Revered One and was going to use her powers as a witch to curse them. Apparently, this was because the staff attempted to kick her out for terrorizing children and adults, sending multiple people into panic attacks. Yeah. We're starting a little crazy with this one. I thought about it, I asked around, and didn't have any contacts that I thought could give me information regarding witches. As I've been told very recently, a witch and a magician are very different things. That, to me, sounds like nonsense, but they would know better than I. But I figured it was worth digging into deeper. D'Artagnan Pizza and Games is a decently modern chain, maybe 35 years old, founded by D'Artagnan Dubois, who, if you are up to date with your white-collar crime, was an extremely prolific con man who helped run the Dubois Nation scam about 30 years ago. Dubois was supposedly a new country, based on a culture in Tibau. It was basically an insane rip of cultures from all around the world. D'Artagnan Pizza as a restaurant is based on this fake culture, but even after the scam was revealed, the restaurant persevered. To explain the fake culture briefly, the mascot of D'Artagnan Pizza and Games is a cowboy beaver who used to be named Francisco, but is now just named D'Artagnan. The rest of the band consists of a turkey who dresses like an old-school trucker, a lady buffalo who dresses like a diner waitress, a punk raccoon girl, a squirrel who dresses like a merchant sailor from before Redonia was a country, a lady moose who dresses like a soldier from the first global conflict with a blue uniform and everything, and a lynx who is just wearing knight armor. Yeah. So basically, they just ripped out a bunch of pieces from other cultures, made up a fake language, and sold houses in a fake country to little grandmas by pretending that said little grandma had a genetic history that made her a native national for land. The D'Artagnan Pizza and Games in Amity City was the first one in the country, and after they had their witch problem, they rapidly developed a run of terrible luck. People having mental breakdowns in the building regularly, rapidly developing phobias, staff members falling into such violent paranoia that they would have to be hospitalized. To stay afloat, our DPG had to start staying open nights, changing from an arcade to a casino once the sun sets. So it's kind of a nightmare in general. During the day, it's full of screaming kids, and at night, it's full of depressed adults. And the staff has almost no time to clean. And yes, the strange events continue, even when it's cocktail hour. So, I had to go check it out. I decided to go both during the day and at night. I brought my young friend with the fox for my day shift, since you aren't allowed in without a child when the sun's up. I told him I'd buy him a pizza, and he stuffed that mangled fox into his coat so that she could go inside with us. I had to explain to multiple moms why the kid I had with me had a foxtail, but it's very easy to just blame cartoons for turning my dirty child into a furry. I digress.
Claire, ad time.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Got kind of into it. Here we go.
The Redonian government has bought this time to be used as a moment of silence for all infantry, navy, air legion, and Red Ops special operators who have fallen in combat. Thank you.
That was heavy. Okay, music time. This song is Hope in Inferno by Joanna Jane. So, did you have a good few days off?
Yeah, I guess so. Mostly just hung out with some college buddies.
Yeah? Do anything fun?
We went to a bar uptown. I can send you the address. Nice vibe.
Cool. Anyways, my little friend and I went during the lunch rush. While he destroyed 3 pizzas, I looked around. Nothing seemed strange, but there was such an odd atmosphere. I watched the animatronic band play some weird modernist jazz and just got this growing sense of fear. Like when you watch a horror movie alone and can't fall asleep in bed because what if? I'm no stranger to paranoia, but it was an odd moment, feeling that rising dread well up in my core while watching kids play arcade cabinets. Skee-ball shouldn't inflict terror in my experience. We stayed there for about 2 hours. The kid practically ate all of my spare cash, but the longer we were there, the worse the feeling got. Some people who were there for the same amount of time began to act strange. A man screamed when his daughter tapped his knee, like her presence was completely unannounced. A toddler who was enjoying the band was suddenly certain the robotic beaver was threatening her. I noticed that a staff member had been concealing a knife under their shirt. It had torn skin and dyed the white fabric a pinkish red. They didn't seem to care. By now, I felt so strange, that rising hair on the back of your neck feeling when you know a cop is watching you on the sidewalk. The feeling you get when a creepy guy hands you a drink. The little man and I left soon after. He was feeling fine, but his fox dog thing was very clearly upset. About 20 minutes after we left, apparently that staff member took her knife out and stabbed someone. She claimed they were stalking her, but that person had only been in town for a day. Apparently he flew in from Ostradenplatz just to have some bad pizza and get 30 stitches. I let the kid stay in my apartment for the night. He crashes on my couch sometimes and waters my plants. Bruno and the fox thing get along fine, so I don't really see the harm in it. When we got to my apartment, the kid made a really good point. He asked me what we were looking for, and when I explained it, he just shrugged and said a witch is just a priest for a hated god. And I found that interesting. Magicians are some sort of scientist, almost. So what if a witch is more like a faith healer? As such, they only have access to certain abilities that fit the interests of their personal revered one. Religion comes with symbols, text, rules. I left the kid in my apartment, and Bruno and I headed back to D'Artagnan Pizza and Games. The sun was setting when we got there, so it was finally Adult Swim at the infection-filled pool. Somehow, the putrid feeling got worse when the sounds of kids laughing had left the building. Now, it was automatic shuffling machines, the overwhelming chiming of slot machines, the sound of adults acting like fools to entertain others and bury the fear they were feeling. The plastic tub full of firearms next to the door got a smile out of me. At least I know no one would be shooting at me tonight. I started hunting for things that could fit my theory. The animatronic band sat lifeless on the stage, a few parties of drunks taking pictures with the poor robots. I've seen the symbol of a revered one before. If whispers and laughter are to be believed, demons though they may be, they were very bad at lying. Bad at most things, if I'm honest. I kept my deck in my hand. I don't carry a gun, but I figured if things got bad, some blood magic might protect me. I still don't know what most of these cards do, unfortunately. I kept wandering the space between the card tables. Dormant, sleeping arcade cabinets, people weeping after they lost all of their money on a game of Void, the people at the bar having a panic attack in a playground. The feeling was getting worse. I'm paranoid by nature. This isn't a new feeling. But the rate at which it built was a new monster entirely. I couldn't settle my thoughts. I couldn't gather my wits. I considered pulling a card just to be safe. It was torture. It was like the building itself was becoming nightmarish. The animatronic band was already slightly unsettling, but the longer I was there, the taller their shadows stood. Their instruments stopped looking like tools of art and started looking like weapons. I wanted to leave. I suppose I did leave. At some point, who could say when or if time was even a factor, the kids' play place in the corner just left. It became a castle of dark brick. The ugly carpet became a wet darkness that one could fall through forever. The band was gone. The other people were somewhere else. I only saw others when they stood close to me, but I could feel them watching me. Even in an empty field of darkness, they were watching me. I took a deep breath and just accepted this new place. It didn't seem to like that very much. The space contorted, offering more eyes, deeper dread. It's as though it wanted me at my most paranoid, as though it didn't want to scare me, just keep me in a constant state of near panic. That moment before the scream. There was only one problem. I don't think this place knew how to scare me. I could hear heartbeats all around me. I could identify them. I knew who was going to win the game of Void, being played 3 feet to my left, despite the fact that I couldn't see anyone to that side. I could feel the emotion of the real space. I could sense the real walls. I could remember the true face of the building. I decided to close my eyes. We should probably run ads. Sorry. Let's run some ads. Hello, my name is Amy Lassiter. As mayor of Amity City, and a member of the provincial council, I have always made it my mission to fight for the good people of this province. This election, my opponent, Ian Holt, has decided that throwing stones is a better approach to politics than taking action. I won't be doing that. I will remain loyal to the mission of this great city, to be a place where everyone can belong and survive. I am Amy Lassiter, and I approve this message.
It's time to take your news to the next level. Redonian Channel 4 News is here for you. Download our app, follow us on Tumblr or Pixie, or watch us live at 7 p.m. every night to stay up to date on the hard-hitting stories that matter to you. We will always give it to you straight. Channel 4 News.
This song is Laughing in the Face by Kazanzaz.
Claire, do you actually believe this stuff?
Poor sweet Mark. You're so innocent.
I'm serious.
So am I. I just hope you get to continue to believe that I'm grifting for money by preying on the fears of divorcees who spend too much money on sage and palm readers.
Well, I didn't.
Welcome back. Let's get to the end of this story, because I've got some research to do. Closing my eyes and standing still seemed to confuse the second structure, the new place. I felt like something was touching my mind, rummaging. A raccoon in the trash, trying to find what scares me, what sets me on edge. I gave it a bad answer. I told the presence that I was scared of the place's origin, and when I opened my eyes, I could see a glowing symbol. It was a curved line that got jagged at one end, with 4 dots on either side of it. I walked up to it and put my hand on it. It was real. Metal and hair. I wiped my palm against it, and it blurred. The second place began to flicker. I kept rubbing. Soon enough, the second place was gone, and I could hear someone's voice. An employee was yelling at me to stop. I looked at my hand and realized I had been very violently rubbing the Moose Animatronics Robo-Boob. Suffice it to say, I am banned for life. I went home and tried to let the fear fade. The kid was asleep on my couch, watching Spy Point. Bruno crawled out of my backpack and fell asleep on the floor. The fox just stared at me. It got up with a yawn, walked towards me, growling. I let her sniff my hand, the one I used to wipe away the symbol, and it licked my palm a few times. So, what have we learned? There was a witch, of a revered one, who cursed a random children's casino. The place is likely no longer cursed. Revered ones can do a lot of damage to a place and seem to eat very specific things. Paranoia, fear, memories. I've been watching the Blue Forum for weird stuff going on at the DPG in our city, and it's been almost silence since its last report, Lesbian Furry Gropes Martha Moose, with a very unfortunate picture of me. The important lesson we learned here is that a revered one can be beaten, or at the very least their effects can. Good morning, Amity City. Go get some coffee. It's going to be a long day. Amity After Dark is an unfiction horror podcast produced by Livewire Stories. This show is written and produced by Gwen Fullman. The music you heard in this episode was made by Gwen Fullman. Claire White is played by Gwen Fullman. Mark is voiced by Theo. Advertisers 1 and 2 were voiced by Gwen Fullman. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at Livewire Multimedia Stories to receive episodes a week early for only $2 a month. Check out our website at livewiretabletop.wixsite.com/livewire. Subscribe to us on YouTube or join our Discord in the description below. The best way you can support us is to show this to a friend. Thank you.